All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to pull back the digital curtain and take a look at the invisible engine that powers, well, pretty much everything you do online. Welcome to our explainer on the back end, the server-side powerhouse.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You click log in, you hit add to cart, or you tap post. In that tiny fraction of a second, your command just shoots off from your screen out into the world. But where does it actually go? And what happens when it gets there?
Well, that simple click kicks off an incredible journey. Your request flies across the internet to a super powerful remote computer. We call it a server that's just waiting to hear from you. And this, right here, is where all the backend magic really starts to happen.
So here's the most important thing to get. The back end, or the server side, is everything that happens behind the scenes. It's the stuff you can't see. If an app were a person, the back end would be its brain. It's not the face or the clothes. It's the complex network of thoughts and memories that makes everything work, from remembering your password to fetching your latest messages. And this is probably the best analogy to explain it. The front end is the beautiful storefront. The colors, the buttons, the layout you actually touch and see. But the back end? That's the entire warehouse, the back office, the whole logistics system. It's where all the inventory is managed, where orders get processed. It's where the real work gets done. It's not what you see, but it is exactly how it all works.
So how do developers actually build this powerhouse? Well, they have a huge variety of tools to choose from. Let's take a little tour of the architect's workshop and check out the different toolkits they're working with.
Okay, first up is JavaScript. Now, for a long time, JavaScript could only live inside your web browser. It was purely a front-end thing. But then, this thing called Node.js came along and completely changed the game. Suddenly, developers could use the exact same language to build the back-end too. That ability to work everywhere is what makes it a full-stack technology.
So within this world, Node.js is the engine itself. It's what lets JavaScript run on a server. Then, build on top of that, you have frameworks. Express.js is kind of like a minimalist toolkit. It's super flexible and doesn't get in your way. Nest.js, on the other hand, is much more structured. It's an all-in-one toolbox for building really big, complex enterprise-level applications.
And this gives you a little taste of what that looks like. Now, don't worry about understanding every single line of code here. Just notice how with just a few simple commands, a developer can spin up a server that listens for a request and send something back. That's the heart of backend communication. Right there.
Okay, now let's switch gears to another hugely popular choice, Python. Python is famous for being incredibly clean and readable. The syntax almost looks like plain English. It's also super versatile. I mean, it's used for everything from web development to AI and data science.
Now, in the Python world, you start with the language, but the frameworks are where the power is. For example, you've got Django, which is famous for being batteries included. It's like a full toolkit that comes with everything you could possibly need right out of the box. So powerful, in fact, that it was used to build the original version of Instagram. Then you have something like Fast API, which is more like a specialized rocket, built for one thing and one thing only, creating ridiculously fast APIs.
All right, so from that versatile all-rounder, let's move on to the real heavy hitters. The C# and .NET ecosystem, which is backed by Microsoft, is a major go-to for large, corporate, enterprise applications. It's known for being incredibly high-performance, secure, and having amazing tools, which makes it a really solid choice for building complex systems.
And speaking of robust, you can't have this conversation without mentioning a true veteran of the web, Java. For decades, its big promise was write once, run anywhere. And what that means is code written on, say, a Mac could run on a Windows machine or a Linux server without any changes. That reliability is why it's been a trusted choice for massive, large-scale systems for years and years.
Now, while Java is the powerful language itself, a framework called Spring Boot has totally revolutionized how people use it. Basically, Spring Boot makes it way faster and easier to get a real production-ready application up and running because it handles all the boring manual setup stuff for you.
And of course, we absolutely have to talk about PHP. It was one of the very first languages built specifically for the web, and it still powers a gigantic chunk of the internet today. I mean, think about WordPress. That's all PHP. It's truly part of the web's bedrock.
And hey, just because it's been around forever doesn't mean it's old-fashioned. Modern frameworks like Laravel have brought this really elegant, expressive style and tons of powerful features to PHP, making it an awesome choice for building sophisticated, modern apps.
So we've seen all the different toolkits, but what does a backend developer actually do with them? What are they building all day? Let's look at the core blueprint of their job.
Let's go right back to our Login button to see how this all connects. So, step 1, a developer builds the API. That's the set of rules for what happens when the click is received. Step 2, they design the database. Think of it as a digital filing cabinet that's going to securely store your username and password. Step 3, they write the code for authentication, which checks if your password is correct, and authorization, which decides what you're allowed to do or see after you log in. And finally, step 4, they wrap that whole process in layers and layers of security to protect your data.
And when all of those steps are done, the journey is complete. The backend powerhouse has done its job. Your click was received, your identity was verified, and it sends one simple response all the way back to your screen. Welcome. All of that incredible complexity, totally hidden behind a smooth user experience.
So, when you put it all together, you start to see why the backend is so important. It's way more than just code. It's the engine that lets you see your friend's latest photo. It's the vault that keeps your credit card info safe when you shop online. It's the logic that lets you stream a movie without a hiccup. It really is the invisible foundation of our entire modern internet. So the next time you tap your screen or click your mouse, just take a second and think about that journey. Think about that invisible powerhouse in the background, with all its languages and databases and logic, firing away, all just to make your digital life work.